Welcome to another live episode of Creating Cultures at Outperform with Terri and Frank, your hosts. Hi, I'm Frank Warner. I'm the founder of People Productive. We help companies create cultures where the people and company thrive together. Ter?
Hello, I'm Terry Mays. I'm a certified culture engineer with emphasis on helping companies bring out the best in their people.
So we have a very important episode today, certainly in this time of the Great Resignation. We are live. We appreciate your comments, by the way. Please feel free to ask questions, make any comments. We really enjoy those, and we'll play them on the screen. We'll give you your answers right here. But we're in the time of the Great Resignation, and creating time in cultures to care about others is very important. This just did not happen accidentally. So we're going to look at a research study from 1973 by two professors, Harvard professors Darley and Batson, who chose a seminary to perform the experiment. They brought these seminarians in. They were set up to go teach basically a class on the Good Samaritan of all things. And the setup is that they're basically going to have to run over to this other building where they're thinking they're going in to teach the class. But they don't know that along the way, there's an individual who's injured. And so they're going to have to pass right by this individual on the way to give their talk on the Good Samaritan. And they take one group of these folks and say, "Oh my God, we're late. Hurry over there." They put them in this high hurry mode. And then they have a second group in the low hurry mode. Like, you got plenty of time, just get over there. Don't worry about it. And the experiment is, let's see what happens when there's somebody really in need. These people are in either high hurry or low hurry. So today, yes, you're going to see a video here. Terry and I actually gave a talk on this. This was a video on the experiment that is no longer available. So we thought the best way to bring this to you was to actually take a clip from that live episode. The sound is off, but you're going to see what happens. And you'll see us up there on the right in this actual video clip, because this was from a show we did in the past. On a YouTube channel. So let's let this roll, Marcelo. Okay, so here's the guy who's been sent off, Mr. High Harry, and here's the low Harry lady. So you can see him dashing along. He's got to get over to that class.
Yes, and remember the topic is they're giving a talk on being the Good Samaritan. So keep that in the back of your mind as
Yeah.
you're watching this. This is like poetic justice.
People who are in high Harry, only 10% stop to help. Okay, so this is really, really super important. When you have a workplace where there's no time left to care about others because you work them like dogs, they always have too many things on their plate, this is what happens. And then people wonder why people are leaving. So, Tara, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I think this is very telling. So if you think about the context where they're going to give a talk on being a Good Samaritan and not having time to be a Good Samaritan, that is just like hilarious to me.
It's so crazy, right?
It is very crazy, but it's so true. When you're at work and you're in a high stress environment, you feel like you don't have enough time to do everything that needs to get done. You get in this hurry mode. And there are people like myself, I'm absolutely one of these people. I do not thrive in high energy, intense, stressful situations. I can't rush. I do very poorly when I have to rush my work. So there are lots of people like that. And actually, it's not good to be in that state where your body is in this kind of flight or fight. I can't say it, fight or flight syndrome. But, I think this is all that same vein where people feel this stress that your body is just sending off all of these signals that you're in a high stress. And so as a result, people feel like I don't have time to stop. I don't have time to, follow process or make sure that I'm getting all the approvals I need to get because I'm in a hurry. I need to get it done quickly. I need to do it now. And so you cut corners. You don't always do things thoroughly. You make mistakes. Exponential number of mistakes are made when people are in a hurry versus when they're able to take their time and really think things through. So it's very applicable to the work environment, I would say.
Very applicable. You have to actually build time in for all of the things that really give you a high performance culture. We've benchmarked a lot of this. We've talked about think time in the past and how important that is. But you've got to leave some time so that people can really think and reflect so that they can help others. When you look at helping and sharing behaviors as people come on board in complex organizations, they need to learn their way around. They need a lot of help. They need people to sit down and explain stuff. Sometimes they need help learning to use the tools and business systems that are, used in that company to get work done. So when people don't have time to help others, decision making slows down. People don't really get nurtured. Millennials, more than anybody, they want to be nurtured so they grow. So there's no time for nurturing, no time for training, coaching, helping others. And you can't have a caring culture unless there's time for people to care about others, because this is what happens. That struggling person who's really needs help doesn't get any. And
Yeah.
that slows things down, especially if they're doing something important that others are ultimately going to depend on. They hold everybody up.
Yeah, and it really just takes a few minutes. Often when people are new in an organization, like Frank was describing earlier, they just need a little bit of guidance and direction. It's not that you have to really spend hours and hours with people. Sometimes if you get in that situation, you may want to rethink, was this a good hire? But, for the most part, when you make a good hire, that person really doesn't need extensive training. They really just need somebody to point them in the right direction, to show them where the pitfalls are. So the last thing you want to do is have brand new people come in the organization and then they fall in the same holes that everybody else has fallen in before them. Show them the ropes. Like, don't make it difficult for people, but take that extra time as a manager and a leader. You want to take that extra time with people. It's so important. It really is.
Yeah, and as a manager or leader, make sure that you're, not booking people 110% of their time, giving them more work to do. Book them 85%. Leave time for their own personal development, for reflection, for them to help others. And that's a takeaway. This isn't going
Yes,
to happen on its own. This has to be intentional. As a great leader running a great organization, you have to address this. It's too
sir.
important. And actually, when people have time to help others, work speeds up. You're not actually using time unwisely. You're using time as wisely as possible, because this is how it works. You think that, oh, let's keep them just busy and everything will get more done. You get less done.
Right.
That's in
You
fact what
absolutely get
happens.
more done because people have different bandwidths, right? So if I know that my teammates will help me when I need help, then I'm more willing to help them when they need help. So you're always going to have the overachievers that finish work quickly and they're done before everybody else. Use that to your advantage and foster an environment where people want to help. And so they can help the others that may not be able to get their work done as fast for whatever reasons, not necessarily because something is wrong, but because maybe what they're working on just takes longer. But you can use some of those high performers to help you in that situation so that now, they're able to help with their work as well as someone else's. And you get a real great sense of fulfillment when you do that, when you're able to share.
Yes.
And now it's not just my work and your work, but it's our work. And that's the way you want people on your team to be thinking. How can we succeed together? Because guess what? If that one guy doesn't get his stuff finished, then
Mhm.
we all fail. The project can't go forward because that one person is not done. So you want your people to think we and not just me.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And caring and giving and all these things have their own built-in reward. The body releases certain chemicals that make you actually feel better. So these
Yes.
things are contagious for a very, strong biological reason. So you want to make sure that these really good people who are the go-to people, oftentimes single points of failure, they have even more time to help others because they're so important. They're linchpins. And, Tara's right. This stuff really matters. You've got to make sure there's time for this to take place. And this shows you that if you don't, you know what's going to happen. Look, we have teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
Shunta, you are on the money. It does. Teamwork brings the dream to life. It's everything. That's why shared success, shared purpose, shared sense of collaboration, shared sense of success. This is this is the foundation of the new world of work for the digital era, where
Yeah.
people are the most important tool in every company. You've got to make sure you're caring about your folks. You just do. And you
Yes.
got to make time for people to care about one another and model those behaviors as a leader. You're
Yes. When
you're
you
the
think
model.
about it, you gain allies when you do that. When you reach out to help somebody else, you never know. And I'm across the board a helper. That's just part of my nature. But I don't necessarily just limit it to the people that I know or people that I don't know or people in this group or that group. Reach outside of your group, your team, your organization. Help
Mhm.
others outside of your organization. You'll be surprised exactly how much that comes back to you. There are so many times where I've needed support from our facility staff or from, someone in the cafeteria, but because I was willing to be a helper, they were willing to help me. So just take the time. It really is not wasted time, like Frank said earlier. It really absolutely is not wasted time to reach out and help somebody slow down what you're doing so that you can help somebody else. It'll make a huge difference in your organization.
Yeah, and I think, even success in the world and, flourishing, animals that flourish, trees that flourish, you take a look at um, how many symbiotic relationships exist in the world that allow organisms to thrive. You look at fruit trees, they give a lot, but they get a lot in return. The animals take the fruit, they spread the seeds all over. This is really fundamentally how the world works. And it's true in the workplace, and it's true in many aspects, of the living world.
Yes,
So do it. It's great. You'll feel better. Everything will work better. You're going to make a difference. People are going to want to associate with you. They're going to like you because you helped. What goes around comes around. You're going to have a better organization. People want to come in. People put down roots. This is how you get a sense of belonging,
yes,
is
yes,
people are really helping one another. And every time they get help, which increases their likelihood of success and really opens the door to them having a friendship, these are threads on their roots going into the soil, which means you're not going to be a victim of the great resignation. Sure, some people are going to leave, people relocate, all sorts of things happen, but people are going to leave for personal reasons that have nothing to do with the fact that they just have to run away from the place, right?
that's right. That's right. Absolutely. Marcelo, will you bring up the key takeaways?
Yep. Key takeaway time.
Yes. So, one of the things that you really have to remember is we've said this many times before, but managers have to lead the way. They have to show employees that they care more about them as an individual than they do about their job. So, it's yes, the job is important, but the person is more important, and they have to know that.
Mhm.
And what happens when people feel like their organization cares about them as an individual, then they in turn deeply care about their work. So they'll take that extra time to help others. They'll take that extra time to be a little bit more thorough and to double check and to
Mhm.
make sure that everything is exactly the way it needs to be. They'll do that on their own when they feel like the company really cares about them. So this is hugely important. So, your assignment this week is to do one random act of kindness. And we'd love to hear about what you're doing. So, make sure you come back to the LinkedIn page and share it in the chat. Send us a note about what you're able to do and what you did for your team. And here are some examples on the side, just being kind and letting people
Mhm.
know that you're there for them, just showing and saying thank you because somebody did something great, that somebody took the time to help you with something, let somebody else go first, hold the door for somebody. Any of those kinds of acts of kindness really do brighten people's day. They may not necessarily say anything in that moment, but it definitely leaves an impact when you take that time to be kind and show that kindness to others. So make sure you
Yeah.
go out there and do your one random act of kindness this week.
Hold the door for others and don't do it just in the workplace if you happen to not be working remote. Do it in the world. Make the place better. This stuff really matters. So we have a really fun video next week we're going to be sharing with you. It's about the dangers of prejudging people. I think you're really going to enjoy it. If you haven't followed People Productive, please do. You'll be automatically notified about every episode and show. We really enjoy it. And, David, you are absolutely right. We as leaders must care more about the human being than the human doing. I love that. I haven't heard that one, the human doing. Super.
Yes, that is a great way to phrase that so that you remember that people come first. And
Dave Davis is clever.
yeah, when you let people come
Yeah.
first, they will let what you care about come first.
Yeah. The human being than the human doing. I'm going to steal that, by the way. I think that's great.
Yes,
So anyway, join us next week. We look forward to having you here. Thank you for coming and attending. We
yes,
hope you're
thank
getting
you.
value out of this. If you have suggestions on videos we should play and talk about, if you have ideas on shows, you can always just send it right to us on LinkedIn, connect to us. You
Yes,
can go to People Productive, our emails are there. And, we very much look forward to hearing from you, helping you, because we're helping type people.
yes.
So, reach out anytime and we'll see you next week, right?
All right. Bye for now.
Take care.